What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and it's Top Game Saturday. The first Saturday of every month we like to count down the top 5 or top 10 in gaming, and this month we're doing top 10 RPG soundtracks, so let's jump in with number 10. Number 10. Dot Hack GU Rebirth. This often overlooked RPG has some killer tracks with a very haunting feel. A lot of the songs in this soundtrack have interesting background vocals, really adding to the feel of hope or despair. Number 9. Skies of Arcadia. This Dreamcast title takes place in a world where all the continents are floating and travel is done only by airship. Since travel is so difficult, each continent has a wildly diverse culture, magic, and technology, and they captured this so well with the soundtrack. Listen to this dungeon music. Every time I hear this title track, it just makes me want to set sail for the skies all over again. Number 8. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Everyone knows that Skyrim is a huge, badass title, but did you know that the language the dragons speak is a real language they wrote down and invented just for this game? In fact, they taught it to all the singers of the soundtrack to have all the songs sung in this ancient sounding tongue. Taking place in such a frozen tundra, they chose to give everything a frigid, icy ring to it, really making each track echo like you're inside of a frozen cave, fighting to stay alive. Number 7. Final Fantasy VIII. As soon as you press New Game, you are immediately treated to a complete feast for the ears. What always made the soundtrack to Final Fantasy VIII so standalone was the fact that many of the songs actually fit into the story. The song, Eyes on Me, is actually written by one of the characters in the game, and it really reflects the love you can feel despite the cost.
Never say my songs on the stage on my own. Never said my words, wishing they would be heard.
Another fantastic track is Man with the Machine Gun. It's definitely my favorite battle theme of the game and probably one of the best in the entire series, and it really does a good job of reminding you that these soldiers fight only to keep fighting. Number 6. Lunar, the Silver Star Story Complete. This PlayStation 1 classic is just pure joy. Every single track, you can hear how much fun the composer is having. The battle theme in this one is particularly crazy because of all the layers in the song. There are over 100 songs that were made just for this game, and during the development they were actually afraid to cut even a single one because every track fit an area so well. Number 5. Grandia 2. The Grandia series is my second favorite RPG series of all time, and the music is really one of a kind. When you buy this game, they actually included the soundtrack for free, really showing that they wanted you to sit down and just listen to it. In fact, to this day, I'll sit down when I have writer's block and just listen to a couple battle tracks and really get my heart pumping. Number 4. Xenogears. Fun fact, Xenogears was originally going to be the 7th game in the Final Fantasy series, making it the original Final Fantasy VII, but it was deemed to be too dark and too futuristic, so instead they made it its own game. The composers said they were kind of going for a jazz-funk sound, and during these epic robot battles, that sound is so addicting. I really respect the fact that they were able to encapsulate such a dark sound while keeping with the Final Fantasy feel as a whole. Number 3. Final Fantasy VII. How can any RPG list be complete without Final Fantasy VII? That dramatic overworld theme. And of course, the legendary track One Winged Angel. For an added bonus, look into the orchestrated version of many of these songs. Nobuo Uematsu is such a genius composer, he went back and reconfigured all of his original works to work with a full orchestra, and they sound incredible. Number 2. Chrono Trigger. One of the most powerful musical scores ever. How does one create music covering thousands of years of story without ever feeling out of place? Well, they did it, and they really went out of the way to make each time period have a completely different song set that all turned out so wonderfully. hopefully we'll get a remake or a true sequel of this game someday so we can get more of this lovely music on modern day technology. I gotta give an honorable mention on this list to Pier Solar. Many of you haven't heard of Pier Solar. It was an RPG made by a small team of guys called Watermelon Games for the Sega Genesis. Despite just being a couple of passionate people in a cubicle, they made a really cool game with probably the best boss theme ever. Listen to this boss theme and tell me this isn't absolutely amazing. Number 1. Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X tells an extremely hard story to tell. Titus is dropped into a strange world, faced with the fact that everyone he ever knows is dead and forgotten. To fit this bleak tone, they match it with an incredibly vast soundtrack, ranging from Japanese-style rock, to hymns that make you want to sing alongside the monks. Just hearing this battle theme, it's hard not to look around me for a sword and want to jump into the fight myself. The extreme diversity of every track in this entire game being so vast and so epic in its scope is why I crown it the best RPG soundtrack ever. If I missed something, please leave it in the comments down below. As always, even though I've played thousands of games, I haven't played every game. If you have an awesome idea for a top 5 or top 10 list, leave it in the comments down below. If it's cool, it may become a future video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. But do me a big favor and keep dreaming. I just want to say I do not own the rights to any of the song clips played in this video, and I strongly encourage you to seek out these games, buy the soundtracks on iTunes, play them and enjoy them, and really respect the original composers for what they've made. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.